It's time for another Discover Lexington segment here on Real Radio, KMMO. And this hour, we're talking with Tanya with Grace Advertising in Lexington. And Tanya, this time you said you wanted to talk about website development. I like to think of a website kind of as that old iconic iceberg. There's this little bit on top that everybody sees, but then there's all the planning and building that goes on underneath it. What's your take on web development?
You know, that analogy is interesting because when I talk to clients about website development, I tell them that we are going to build a 10-story building, although we may only occupy the first floor for now. Mm-hmm. And what that means is before anything gets done, planning takes place. So we're thinking about audience segmentation because we want to speak relevantly to each audience member. We also want to think about future expansion because you want the website to be scalable. The worst thing is to build a website and a year later it's obsolete. Mm-hmm. So those are some of the things that we talk about in the pre-planning stages before anything gets built. And then, you know, the creative part happens, and that's a huge part of the website because we want that website to reflect that company's brand in a very meaningful and memorable way. Not only do we want the website to reflect their brand, but we want to promote ease of use. You know, nowadays, Melinda, web users are tenured users, and what that means is they've been online for many years. And so you want to make sure that that website is very, very user-friendly. Mm-hmm. If not, those tenured users will bail, and they'll bail quickly, and they won't return.
Definitely. You know, it kind of brings back together all the things you've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. You know, you have to know your audience. You have to have done that research. You have to have a strong brand. And then this is kind of the showpiece you get in the end.
Exactly. It's definitely a showpiece that builds over time. And it should be dynamic. A website should never be static. It's a living, breathing thing. So it's very important when you're building your website to think about, okay, how am I going to maintain this site? What type of content am I going to be including over time? How does this content parlay with my social media campaign? What about my direct mail campaign? If I send a direct mail piece, what do I want them to do after they get that piece? Well, you want them to land on your website, and you literally want them to land on a landing page that has similarity to that postcard that you sent. Then you're speaking to them in a very closed-loop manner, and you're promoting continuity in your communication.
It is really important for people to feel comfortable and to see things they've seen before. It's also really important that when they type your business into their search engine, your business actually comes up. How do you guys work with that?
What we do is we build a customized content management system for every website that we build. And as a part of that content management system, we build a search engine optimization component so that as your website changes, your web pages change, we can also change key elements within that search engine optimization component on the back end to make certain that folks easily find you on search engines. And that's a very important component of the whole website development process.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how amazing of a website you build. If people can't find you right away at the top of their search, it doesn't do you a bit of good. Obviously, a website is very, very important to business this day and age. And if folks say, yeah, either we really need to spruce up the one we've got or we just haven't made that jump yet, they want to get in contact with Grace Advertising to start that process, how can they do that?
They can definitely call me, Tanya Wright, and you can reach me directly at 660-259-3700.
All right. Thank you so much, Tanya. That's Tanya with Grace Advertising in Lexington on this Discover Lexington segment. For KMMO, I'm Melinda.